This is when solo buildings suck ass.
Hey, I'm Issa and I'm learning to convert this van all by myself while traveling out of it as much as possible. I'm going to work on the air conditioning. The thing with this air conditioner is I can't find anyone else who's done it online, and a lot of things that I've relied on is other people doing it in their advice and their trials and tribulations moving through things. I can't find that online. I found a few different like forum posts for different vans, not for the Sprinter specifically. Certainly no videos of how to. And of course I have the installation manual, but it's, in the way I read it, it's very technical.
What? Wait, hold up. This is future Issa coming to you from the editing room, and I need to tell you, this is the beginning of a long and terrible process. This AC ended up being the bane of my van build existence. I actually nearly didn't include doing the videos for this at all because it was so awful in the end. But for posterity, I figured let's go ahead and show all of the hard work I put into this system that ultimately didn't end up working, and I'd never recommend.
So today is just about taking everything out of the box and just looking at it and trying to fully comprehend what I'm doing, and I'm just going to lay it out. And thankfully my mom's also allowed me to just like take up her garage and she won't park in it for a little bit, so I'm very lucky for that. This is the, I believe this is called the condenser fan. I purchased these brackets additionally that are meant to fit the Sprinter specifically, so this will mount under the passenger side of the van, and this is going to be, in my understanding, what helps cool the refrigerant. Keep it cool. This is the control panel, a bunch of connections for the hoses, looks like some gaskets, washers, bolts, nuts. This is the electrical system. It looks like this is a relay system in here and some connections, and this looks familiar from the instructions. This is my actual blower. One of the caps is missing, I don't know why. Not that I'll need them, but now I have 4 ways I can have my air conditioner go. I decided to go with this route. They also have one that's just a box that has a vent that comes out of it. I decided this route because it gives me a little bit more flexibility, and I think I'm going to have one of these go directly to Riker's crate area. Various hoses. Let's see, so this is, I think this is the condenser, or that is, they work together. This will sit in this bracket, and these together are going to mount under the van as well. So the only internal components are going to be the wiring system, the blower, and of course the thermostat. All the other major components are going to be outside. So now I just have to figure out how it all works. Instructions did not come with it, but I printed some out. My mom has a color printer. I think they might be in color, so I'm going to try to do that first. So things like this are very easy for me to understand. But when we get into things like, well, that's more of a diagram, that's okay. These wire diagrams make me feel cross-eyed just looking at them, so this is going to be a learning curve. But then they've got a nice wire gauge guide here. I mean, I think the instructions are pretty complete. I just have to learn how to read them and do it. Good morning. So I reached out to AC after I went through everything yesterday to figure out a few questions that I had about where I'm going to put things and even how on some of it. Although once I went through the manual, I definitely understood it a lot more. So what they've recommended is that I actually attach the brackets to the condenser first. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to mount the condenser today. I'm hoping to do the 2 components that go under the van. I'm hoping to get those done today. And then I have a bunch of stuff in my van for my sister that I'm moving for her because it still have a big open space. It's a cargo van. And once I get that out, I can figure out exactly where I'm going to put the evaporator, which is the blower part that gives you the cold air. On their website, it says it doesn't come with mounting hardware, but in fact it does, which is awesome. So it comes with a couple flat washers and lock nuts. So this is going to be the cross beam of the van. The fans are already a little bit, or the fins, gills, I don't know. They're already, there's a couple of scratches and bends just from transportation, it looks like. But I'm just going to temporary mount this to the bracket so I can mount the holes in the crossbeam, which is what they recommend doing. I've been very nervous about this whole system, honestly, because there's just no videos anywhere on it, and I know other people have done it, I just haven't seen them do it, and so it makes me wary. Brackets are really nice. I'm very glad I got them, and these were, I think, $150. And I feel like that price is fair because I'd much rather have something made for the system, made for my Sprinter. This is the evaporator, and ideally this is what is going to be going up high in the van to be the most efficient. But it's a bit wide, and you have to consider the air intake over here. I would not describe this as heavy, but it's also not light. I have to look up to see how much it weighs, but holding it above my arms and trying to kind of get a feel of what it's like is too hard. So I made this sort of rough copy of the size and shape. So I know that it's going to go back as far as that little thing. This is kind of angled like the vents, and then it goes to the bend there. So this happened to be at my mom's recycling and it worked, so it's a rough estimation and it's going to give me an idea. I'll kind of play with it in my van much like I did the layout, so we'll see how this goes. There's a really rough approximation, but at least it gives me a idea of how that feels in the van. It sticks out a fair amount, I think, but you have to consider my ducts need to also come back here to wherever I'm routing them. I think this is going to be the best place because I plan on sleeping with my head on the other side, so I will have other cabinets along this side. Okay, we're under the car and this is going to be hard to see. So for relation, this here is the back passenger wheel. Okay, and we're coming up and we are installing the wheel. We're going to install the condenser here along the passenger side, okay? I can't go back that way more, but I don't know how to drill because the exhaust is here. I can only hit an angle with my drill. I don't think you can see that well. And to get on this side, the drill doesn't fit around. I don't know what to do. Oh, I think we can get this way. Okay. There's so many bad ideas occurring here. I just remembered I gotta do a pilot hole. Okay, so I'm just putting this cover over the compressor because I know metal's gonna go everywhere. And it probably doesn't need to be into this very pricey, nice new compressor. I'm just trying a 1/4 inch drill bit first to do the pilot. Okay, well that's a pilot hole. I hope I can get this in today. That'd be nice. Just one system in, right? Not even system, just one component. I can't lie, I'm nervous as heck, dude. I'm gonna go put my face shield on too. I should have known better. Should have been wearing a long sleeve shirt too. But we're through. Maybe I should just name my van Awkward because I do everything in the most awkward way possible. Oh, do we have the bolt down before we get super into this? Oh, all this metal everywhere. Ouch! Oh, I just jammed my knee on the side of the van. other D2. Highly unenjoyable right now. Oh my gosh. One hole out of 4. I don't even know how. I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure it out. A one-woman show here. Oh fuck! I gotta figure this out. This is not easy. Metal poking me everywhere. My knee is killing me. I should probably vacuum all this up. I can't figure out how to get this compressor to cooperate. You know what though? I don't need this right now. I just need the bracket. I'm gonna take the compressor off the bracket for now. Okay, I got smarter. I put my little metal shirt on. I swept the metal shavings away that were there. And I cannot figure out how to get, so there's this beam, right? I can't figure out how to get my drill on this side when I marked the bracket anyway. So I'm just going the one route I have and going through is the plan. And I don't love it. I'm grateful for my small hands, but there are not a lot of wiggle room here. Getting another bolt and doing 2 bolts, but they provided 1, and this was so stressful. I'm very happy with 1. I'm giving up. I'm giving up for today. I've been working on this all day. I'm covered in metal. I don't even think you can see this. It's right up here. I cannot get it to line up. I don't understand. It's frustrating. Giving myself some breaks. I'm gonna try to get a fresh crack on this tomorrow. I'll get it figured out. But this was not the part that I thought would be frustrating. So some days are not wins. This isn't cute wavy hair. This is a huge, is that bougainvillea in my hair? Oh my god. It's a huge rat. I've been under the van all day, unsuccessfully. I didn't even get the simple thing that I thought I would get done today, and I didn't even get part of it done. I didn't even get the basic step of it done. So some days you win, some days you don't. Okay, good morning, day 2. I did not get as much accomplished as I wanted to yesterday. Just drilled a couple holes in the van, and although the bolt will like line up, the bracket will not, and I think it's just becoming off center just slightly from this little bulge in the frame of the van. So I'm gonna try to reposition. I'm super sore today. I hit my knees multiple times on the framing of the door, like in the little soft juicy part of your knee. So I'm tender. I'm sore from like holding my body like this. So we're gonna go to the dog park, Riker and I. Coffee first, and I'm gonna try to get to this. My goal today, can I just get the compressor mounted? Compressor? Yeah, the compressor, the one with the fans. I always get it confused. All right, we've got the lip color, hair up super high because I'm gonna be on my head a lot. I have a bruise here and on my scapula and my knees caps. Goal, bracket, compressor, in today. I'm resolved, I'm ready. It's happening. I have to go to work the next couple days after this, so I just want to get this one thing done. Okay, I'm trying to figure out, here's the exhaust, and I need to drill basically like right up in here. But this heat shield is in the way, so obviously when you're under your car, make sure your exhaust is fully cooled. But my heat shield is held in place with these weird, like, I don't know what to call them, like a washer. So I took a flathead screwdriver to get it started, and I just stuck it into the little slots and started turning it. And then once it did, I started using my fingers. I used gloves too because this is pretty thin. And then I'm just gonna pop this little bit off. And save that. So see, it's like a weird, where are you? Weird little dilly bop. And then I'm just gonna bring my heat shield down. And then I've got one more here I can bring it down with. It's connected to some wires that go with the exhaust. I'm gonna keep all those connected there. Okay, I just got the new bracket, the second bracket, on the first freaking try. Okay, so I'm gonna run you through what so I took the heat shield off and I just moved it to the side because it's hooked up to these wires and such. And I ended up placing the bracket again, and I marked the hole on this side because on this side of the bracket I had marked my green line. Let's see if you can see that. So on this side I not only marked the hole, but I marked the line on each side where it lined up. I could not get the drill in this way, so I had to drill this way, which is why I took the heat shield off, because that was in the way. Started with a so I marked the hole on this side. Once I'd lined it up here, I got a hole that I was able to reach and marked it this side. Started with a 1/4 inch drill bit and then moved to a, shoot, what's that one? 1/2 inch drill bit. And the 1/4 inch drill bit wasn't long enough to get through all of the way. And so when I did my 1/2 inch drill bit, I held it as best as I could. And it was perfect. I got the bolt through one hole. It's beautiful. It took me all of yesterday and part of this morning to get the other one done. And the fact that this happened on the first try, I'm through the freaking roof. Like, I'm so lucky that that happened on the first try. The holes, this looks horrible, honestly. The holes are huge, but it's fine because the way the bracket is, it was the most challenging time to get this lined up. Like, it looks straight, but then the bracket okay, so it's working. The bracket fits. So now I'm just going to clean up the edges and then paint it. But because it's going to be right on the ground, I'm going to take some cardboard and I'm just going to cover, can you see? I'm just going to cover the frame, essentially, that bar, and spray right into the holes because there's no way I can get the metal shavings that fell inside of that tube. So I'm just going to spray the living heck out of it so it's all coated, so if moisture does get in there, it's not going to rust. I'm going to use truck bed liner in addition to the coating these already have on them, just a little extra set of protection down there on the ground. So I'm just going to clean them off because they're just a little dirty. This one got a little paint on it from the other one, but that's fine. I put the heat shield back. Make sure you put these little things in the right way. I put it upside down. That's possible, but they just don't end up sinking in. So I put the heat shield back on, and now I've got my compressor mounted into its brackets. I'm very happy about this. Hard to see. This was super challenging. The heat shield, of course, was gone when I did this, but to get the bracket in, I put the brackets up before I put that on, and then I balanced the whole compressor on my stool with some padding on one side as needed to get it up, because it's just me holding it up. And then there's the other bracket in place. It's hard to see, but it's pretty streamlined. Certainly it's not any lower than my, I think that's the transfer case. Barely lower than the exhaust, and about in line, part of the drivetrain, but lower than my gas tank. Okay, so front of the van, there's the good old muffler from the heater. And these are just the cords. I'm gonna bring these up a little bit because I'm not ready to plug them in, so I'm just gonna tape them. I did tape the ends up here so they don't get dirt and debris. And then I'm just gonna wrap them up further so nothing potentially hits the ground and gets ruined. But you can see that profile is very nice. It's actually higher than my muffler is. Once again, I wasn't sure if I could do this, and I think that was one of the harder parts of this because it was a little cumbersome. I think all of it's going to be a little cumbersome, but one of 3 main components is in. I have an extra incentive to get my butt moving and get the van done. Cars rolling by. Nylon lock nuts. Nylon lock nuts. Lock knocks. There goes my phone. I see bad things happening here, don't you? Maybe you check your freaking settings on your drill too. Wouldn't that be funny if I wasn't recording? It wouldn't matter. This is not interesting anyway. Holy shit, that's a big hole. Ah, the world's most flattering angle. The condenser, is that the fan?